Welcome to the Midlife Pilot Podcast. We are glad you're with us. What is it like to become a pilot in your 40s and 50s? The challenges are unique for those of us in midlife, but so are the rewards. Hosts Ben, Brian, and Ted talk learning to fly, growing as pilots, and the joy of flying to destinations. The purpose of the podcast is not to teach, but to share knowledge and experiences of being a midlife pilot. Join the Midlife Pilot community and listen in every week. We are not CFIs or particularly intelligent, so if you want to learn how to fly, talk to anyone else other than the hosts of a podcast. Even this intro was too challenging for us, and we used a robot to do it. Okay, checklists are complete. Let's get the show started.
Hello and welcome to episode 187 of the Midlife Pilot Podcast, where we share the experiences and challenges of flying in midlife. My name is Ben. I'm a pilot in the Atlanta metro area, and today we are catching up with some whiskey in hand, just chatting about and going to check in with our live chat. Got a big group in there tonight. It's always good to see. Today with me, as always, it is he's got like so many initials after his name these days, I can't keep up with them all. But he is a instrument rated, commercial rated, ABCDFGHIJKLMNOP guy, whatever that means. He's in the heart of Nashville Music Row. He is flying a Cherokee 180 named Lucy. His name is Brian Siskin. Good evening.
Hello, everyone. Super excited to be here. I have Gatorade whiskey here tonight, so I'm just hydrating. But, in terms of when you were talking about like the acronyms, think about somebody like our friend Nathan Ballard. Think about how many, when you're a master CFI, how many letters follow your name. So I am but a child compared to our friend Nathan Ballard, and I hope he's in a Lear right now somewhere having a good time. But yeah, super excited to be here. Information whiskey is the order of the day, and we'll take it.
Also joining us, it's everybody's friend, our sport pilot extraordinaire flying a CTLS, we like to call the Egg. He's based up in Portlandia. It's our friend Ted. Good evening.
Hey, I am glad to be here. We are having January over here, so I know you're having insane heat. And did it rain today? Feels like it. Been that kind of weather over here.
I was going to ask because y'all, a couple of weeks ago, y'all had some pretty intense heat too.
Yeah.
We
did. Yeah. It's going around the nation, I guess. There's different times.
So Ben, for those that are not aware that we do these information whiskey shows every fourth episode, do you want to explain the non-format format?
A lot of the Midlife Pilot brand is the non-something something. We do a non-event event. We do a non-format format, which we like to call the whiskey episode. And in the past, we try to come up with ideas, and we decided, sometimes it's just fun to catch up. Get involved with the chat, see what everybody's up to, and just let it fly, basically.
Yeah.
Is that an apt description, would you say?
I think it's very, very well done. I don't want to say, hanger talk, but it is a bit of hanger talk, I mean, and this is kind of how this whole thing really got started. Chris and I just always yapping, and we just thought, well, if we just had a record light on, maybe this would not be the worst thing. And turned out to be not quite the worst thing.
And if I recall, y'all basically came up with the ideas, 20, 30 minutes before you hit the record button?
Yeah, that's been improved to about 45 minutes.
Hey, after 3 or 4 years, it's we're improving.
Oh, hey, look, we're in a good spot right now. We've got the next 3 weeks laid out. We are on fire.
We are on fire. And
shouldn't say that, I suppose.
It's okay to say it on the ground. It's when you're in the air.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell that story about my instrument training in the fire?
What? No.
I am under the hood. We're flying into Athens. Well, I don't know if I should do it. I'll make it G-rated. I don't want us to get dinged for anything. And I am under the hood, and I'm just dialed in, man. I got the crosshairs now as we're on the ILS, and my instructor's in the right seat. And there's a spider that's not small, pretty big, sitting right on top of my neat board. and the words that came out of my mouth were shoot fire. Not exactly. I'm
S-fire.
S-fire. And all my instructor heard was S fire. And he's like, where's the fire? Where's it? I was like, there's a spider on my knee board. And he's like, oh, okay. You gave me a heart attack. Thanks. So yeah, be careful when you use the word fire.
Yeah. Staying on the fire topic, I was talking to my mom, friend of the show, Ted's mom last night. She's like, there's a really cool old plane flying over. And I quickly went to ADSB and looked it up. I'm like, you know what? There's a couple of Super Scoopers flying overhead. Those are the yellow water bombers, the Canadair water bombers. So she's in Utah and they've got huge fires there. So they're obviously just flying into their airport to refuel or get more water or whatever. I just thought it was kind of interesting, like to look it up that fast and figure out what it was.
It's one of those things where, oh, neat, airplanes.
She comes by it honest. She's very excited about planes and it runs in the family.
Very cool. Well, Brian, anybody been doing anything interesting since we recorded last? It's been a little bit since what was last week when we recorded, right?
Typically it's a week, yeah. In this case,
we do double headers, and I can't remember if we did that. So that kind of messed me up. I'm going to drink some more whiskey, excuse me.
Yeah, please. And by the way, the weekly streak that we are on, knock on wood, has been, it'll never compare to our friends over at Opposing Bases, but this has been quite a run of weekly. So thank you guys for making it happen. And even today was, we are doing a doubleheader this evening, and it's because on the front end, Ted's schedule, you're really cramped. And then I after we do this doubleheader, I have to pull everything down, mix it, edit, whatever I got to do to publish the stuff. And then I've somehow got to get enough sleep so that I can be up at 4:30. And we are departing for, of all places, the basis for what was known as the Big Texas Send.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that attended that event with us. But going back to Tango 82, and Katie's never been, so that'll be super exciting. And we're going to stay a couple nights there. This is all the plan, by the way. You have a plan, and then we'll see what shakes out on the other side. But I might not even, go anywhere. So the plan is to go to Tango 82 for a couple nights, and then go on to Marfa for 4 nights, and then come back. And we'll be on the west side of this incredible, painfully hot heat dome situation. So we're just gonna end around this whole heat wave, which is kind of nice. It's amazing to have a plan to go to the West Texas desert to escape the heat.
Yes. I'm guessing you'll be going up to 9,000 for no other reason to get out of the heat. It's just
I'm already prepared. I'm already prepared to have the service ceiling conversation with my wife. It's because there's a difference, right? There's absolute and there's the service ceiling. So no, we're not going to do that, but we will be flying as high as reasonably possible. It's such a fine line because when you're traveling, I don't know, do you guys think about this, Ted, especially on the trips that you do where you're up for, you have like 27 hours of range in your plane. Do you ever think about the fatigue factor of altitude? So even though you're okay, say at 8,500 feet, the trade-off, right, of, well, if I fly 6,000 or 8,000 or whatever, those things matter over the long haul and how you're going to feel when you get to where you're going.
Yeah, I kind of have a mental limit of 8,000 to 9,000 feet before I really start thinking about oxygen. And what that means is I'm testing my O2. And if I see it starting to dip, I'm going to either descend or grab oxygen and use it. And but you also, the trade-off there is it's so much smoother at 9,000 feet than it is at 4,000 feet. Yeah. So, and the fuel consumption is a lot better too. So I always make that trade-off.
Yeah. Do you notice you feel the subtle fatigue based on the altitude you've chosen?
I don't.
Yeah.
for me, it's more a function of the length of time.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, like say 3 hours or more.
Yeah, there is certainly a difference, but not because of altitude.
I feel more of the exhaustion when it's, an hour and a half, 2 hours of IMC.
Oh, yeah.
And shooting an approach.
Sure.
More so than when I'm at 11,000 feet for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
With the TAA plane with really good autopilot, that's what makes it even a possibility for me. If it was hand flying or dealing with an autopilot that I don't trust as much, it would certainly be a concern.
Yeah.
And so it's all that stuff factors in.
So question for you, Ted. Is that okay?
Yeah. I was just waiting for it.
I know. I was just creating a long, awkward pause. So, as I mentioned, we're flying to Tango 82 tomorrow. Yeah. Do you need us to do any other recon for parts of your airplane, or are you good? You got everything?
I believe so, yeah. If you remember, that stuff all went home with Mark or to North Carolina, and then he sent a giant box to me at my house. And so the amount of packing material to hold a broken wheel pant and a full wheel pant was kind of insane. I think I filled a black trash bag of packing material. So thanks, Mark, for doing all of that work. He said he flew at 12,000 feet today for 4 hours, and he's using his oxygen concentrator. I have an O2 concentrator to start using at some point. It's got to go pick it up and figure out how to power it. But yeah, it'd be nice to use.
Well, I'm actually looking at investing in one of those as well. We've got this oxygen bottle. It's sitting right here in the studio here, but it's literally 4 feet tall. Yeah. It came with the airplane.
You have a missile that
I do.
Has air in it. Yeah, that thing is, you put it sideways on the rear seat and it takes most of the width of the seat.
Yeah. But it holds a lot of oxygen. I think we've only had to refill it once in 8 years. So.
Yeah.
Are you, tell me the reasoning by having it in your studio there with you. Is this tough? Like, what's happening?
You're so suffocating, Brian. I just feel like I need to take hits of oxygen every now. No, it's when we lost the hangar, we needed a place to store it. And I was in the plane last when we moved out of the hangar. And so it's sitting in my basement along with my other unused pilot gear.
Well, Rescue Rat here says in the chat that he's heading to Tango 82 in September for the Cessna 120-140 Association fly-in. That is something I wish that I could attend. That seems like a tremendous event. I love the 120s and the 140s. And I suppose the smart move would be to just figure out, I know that they have some parts that are troublesome to find or recreate. So just show up there, like in a trench coat with hey, I've got 40 window latches,
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's awesome.
I kind of pay attention to that group because it's such a cool thing. And I don't remember anything, but I remember they were in Clinton, Iowa last year for the fly-in. Why do I remember that? No idea. But it's such a cool plane. Of course, you want to be in the organization for it.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, guys, we got one feedback to read. Brian, do you want to take care of that for us?
Sure. And I think we might have some others, but we're spreading things out. And also, we just have not been very good at collecting things out of the box. I think is kind of what's going on, right, guys? Okay. Yeah. We're getting there. And after this, I'd like to talk about maybe some of the newer ways we have to get things.
Yes, please.
Yeah. All right. So this is from Royce M. He says, "Good morning, fellow midlifers. I just listened to episode 184, and as always, greatness." Oh boy. Yeah. My name is Royce, and I'm a 45-year-old CFI from Sullivan, Indiana. Appreciate what you guys do for the aviation community. Well, thank you. And for any CFI to
seriously
say anything other than please stop doing what you're doing.
Cease and desist.
Yeah. That's good. He says, I want to take a minute to invite you all to, what is this? Ed Air
I-20.
Yeah.
I-20.
Yeah.
India 20, Ed Air, Ed-Air Inc. INC. All right. I'm going to read that again. I want to take a minute to invite you all to India 20, Ed Air Incorporated. Even if this invite doesn't qualify for the non-event, please know you're welcome anytime. Pilot house on the field, fully furnished with 6 beds. Ed Air is a Part 137 ag operation and maintenance services for GA. I'm confident a visit and or episode won't disappoint. Ed Air is rich with knowledge and experiences to share since 1970. The opportunity to interview the 80-year-old founder down to 25-year-old ag pilots, mechanics, CFIs, and other midlifers. Plenty of hangar space for an overnight across the Wabash River at KLWV Glider Club. The fall is the most beautiful time of year in southern Indiana. If you have interest discussing further, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Fly safe, Royce. Thank you, Royce, for that. And look, we're always looking for reasons to hit other places. So that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So I decided that I am, at this point, 99% sure that I'm going to Oshkosh this year. And I looked up that airport, and there's a really good chance that I may be doing a fuel stop there.
Oh, nice.
Seems kind of cool.
Yeah, that looked really cool. We look for a couple of things when we are looking for events. One of those is an airport that's friendly, not like signature, good luck, you're going to pay $60 a day for every plane, and we don't want to see you anyway. Again, piston peasants. So an airport where people are friendly is one thing. Accommodation is another. And being central is kind of the third thing, which always rules me out way over here. But yeah, it's really cool to see. And we'll have a link to Ed Air, the egg operation in the show notes.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I love the Ed Air. It's like Con Air, but Ed Air.
Exactly right. That's the first thing that came into my mind when I heard that. But it's ag pilots too. So there is that kind of tone
like
to it.
80-year-old Nicolas Cage over there.
You guys remember, I guess we talked about it last week, but I saw that plane. The C-123. I actually sat in it. Yeah. The one that was used in Con Air itself, because it's just sitting off the side of the runway. It's fenced in and it's open. So you go climb into it. There's not much left. It's pretty hollowed out. But the funny thing is there's 2 electric motor controllers on the left side of the pilot seat, which there is no seat. And those were to roll the propeller so they could film with the propellers turning. So they obviously replaced the engines with just a motor so they could spin the propellers with it. Thought that was kind of cool. Yeah. Just I don't know, one of those
little Hollywood magic going on there.
Yeah.
Also
exactly.
a great way to save money on avgas.
Yeah, exactly. Just turn those things way up and get your extension cord going. That's at Wendover Airport, which is west Utah, right on the border with Nevada. Kind of a cool, weird place. The coolest old hangars I've seen. This place is huge. I loved it. When I was flying into there, I was on CTAF, and there's like 3 runways because it's like ancient military base type place. And I made my call, and a woman came on. She's like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "No, I just need like cold water because I'm out in the desert." She's like, "Oh, no problem. Come on in. It's on the 2nd floor." Super friendly. I just love those places. It's like she was just on the radio immediately on CTAF just to see what was going on.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Brian, you've been kind of busy while I was out gallivanting in the North Georgia mountains.
Yeah, by the way, let's not skip past that. Okay.
Okay.
We talked on the phone earlier, maybe a day or 2 ago, and you expressed that this was your equivalent to what I experience when I go out to Marfa, which I'm doing this next week. Just going out to a place, right, where I get my zen and feel the feeling small in the expanse of the universe. This is you just went through your own pleasant place of that kind of transcendence.
I did. Lynn Foot Hike-In It's Foote, Len Foote. He's a guy who is a conservationist, very instrumental in getting the AT completed. Appalachian Trail, I apologize.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, the southern terminus of the trail is on Springer Mountain, which is up in North Georgia. And in the state park, the state built this lodge that's 5 miles on top of a mountain. And it's got a lobby area, and then it's like a hostel, really. They've got, I think, 30 rooms that are bunk beds. It's got a light bulb in there, and they actually have fans in there for the summertime.
It's got a light bulb.
It's got a light bulb.
It literally, there's no fixture or anything. There's just a light bulb. It's wood panel walls. I mean, it's rustic.
Yeah. It's a nice
They provide you with a mattress and linen and stuff. So you don't have to bring your own camping gear.
Yeah.
They feed you dinner and breakfast. And, excuse me, they have this beautiful reading room. They've got this stargazing site, and it's got a sculpture that basically is a sundial system show. So you can know there's a little hole in this rock where on the equinox, the spring and fall equinox, the sun shines through and goes through this little hole, and it lights up this back of the cave, and it's got all this stuff. But it's up in the mountains. It's got this amazing view. And then you can it's a 5-mile hike from the parking lot to this inn. And there's some decent elevation change. And then there's another trail that takes you up to Springer Mountain, which is the start of the Appalachian Trail. So it's family style eating. You're there. We were a group of 5, and there was, I think, 35 people there, maybe 40 people. And you just get to know these people, and you're sitting out at night, looking at the stars and just hanging out, and bring up a flask of scotch or something and just kind of chilling with these people. And it's just this really beautiful area. There's no real cell phone service. So you kind of put your phones up.
Yeah.
And it's just being out there. And then the hike up to Springer, it's a really biodiverse area. And it almost feels like you're going through when you're down in the valleys, it feels very rainforest-ish-y, if that's a word. You get up into the higher elevations, it's just different. And it's a really cool spot for me.
You went there last year or the year before, I think?
I go every year, actually.
Okay. It looked familiar when I looked it up. I was like, I remember that.
We went with my family, my dad, my sisters, and all significant others and kids would go up there on an annual trip. Unfortunately, my father's gotten too old to make the hike now. And we've introduced some of our other friends to it. And now it's an annual trip for us.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And just to check, are the other people also there on steady rotation and going there every year?
It was a lot of people that were up there for us. This was their first time up there. There's some people that go up there once a month, and there's some people that go up there twice a year. It varies.
Oh, okay.
We normally go up in August, but we also, my buddy and I volunteer. So we get free room when you volunteer. So you're helping out in the kitchen and cleaning up and doing some of the work. So
that's cool. I just didn't know if there was people up there that are just thinking, God, they keep coming back every.
Yeah, we're the East, which we only come back once a year. It's those people that are coming back once a month, maybe that. But
wearing it out. No, that sounds really, really cool. I'm glad.
And it's hard. I'm carrying a 20-pound pack both ways. I did almost 19 miles over the weekend of hiking. Yeah. So.
Well, that'll get you ready for Oshkosh.
That makes me, that was it. It was training for Oshkosh. It's 100% it.
All the hills at Oshkosh.
Well, there'll be a lot of, you train in the hills, Ted. So when you get to flatland, it's just so much easier.
There you go. Train high, ride low.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So that was it. That was my weekend going down to St. Simon. So I'll get a little flying in this week. May try to get some night flying in. I'm about 15 hours shy of my goal on night hours. So I need to kind of ramp that up a bit.
Nice. All right. I did my night currency last night, and it was 1,000 degrees and no one was at the airport. I mean, even the line guys just they know that I'll park against the fence down if I'm down here at John Tune anyway, so they are just, everybody.
Like, we're not going to come out for you.
Well, you go inside and it's air conditioning and you see everybody just all sweaty sitting there. It's like, anyway.
There's no break at night either, though. It feels like it's just as hot at night than it is during the day.
It's not worse in this weird way. Yeah. I did the fastest, most efficient night currency flight landing series that I've ever done. I'm glad that I know the airport really well because I was basically there was no crosswind and there was no base.
It was just one. It was more of a circle than it was an oval pattern.
Yeah, I might as well have been like a pits, But anyway, so yeah, I'll get on to the next thing here, and we'll just make a couple of announcements and do a quick belly scrub. And I see that Gita has made it to the chat.
Oh, well,
Mike Alpha Golf. All right. So number one, I would like to formally announce that we finally have a version 2 website, midlifepilotpodcast.com, and it is enhanced in all the fun ways that you can enhance a website, I suppose. It's cleaner, it's tighter, it's better. All that to be said, you guys should just go check it out. The one thing that we really want from people that we don't get, we get feedback emails, we get, great people here in the chat. We get a lot of input. This is a community-driven show. All that to be said, we want more voicemails. We want more voice messages, and we want to hear actually from you. Now, I understand that from the listener perspective, it probably is something more like, isn't that aren't you guys supposed to talk? Like, why am I? But listen,
we're asking you to do our job for us. That's basically what we're saying.
If we can just stitch all these together for an hour, we can just not even show up. No, but I was a little bit inspired, and I wanted to make something that was a little bit more fun than hey, send us a voicemail file, right? So, or record something and email it. So the website features what I have dubbed the Midlife Pilot Tape Machine. And it's got little tape reels spinning and a VU meter that actually works, which is insane, by the way.
Yeah.
It actually works. And for kids that don't know what a VU meter is, well, wait, there's no kids here. Never mind.
A tape. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really easy. All you got to do is, whether you're on a phone, whatever, you just hit record, yap into it, and we'll be hitting you guys with various prompts and things. But send us any thoughts. Tell us about your worst landing. Tell us about a no-go decision. Tell us about anything you want. Argue with us about something we said on the podcast, and we will concede probably. But anyway, Tape Machine is live on the website. One touch record. It automatically gets sent to us, and it's super easy. So I hope people use it. And then otherwise, there's other fun things there. So check it out, midlifepilotpodcast.com. Do you guys have anything on the website real quick before we go to the next thing?
No, but I did want to comment on Groves J's comment in the chat. He says, I have a voice for the mute button. I used to think the same thing.
Yeah, I usually say that I've got a face for radio and a voice for the pictures. So it's like the intersection of that is 0 for
I don't think
a podcast.
There's probably a lot of people that don't realize that you guys were not in any way experienced in podcasting whatsoever. Or maybe they're well aware of this. I don't know.
To me, it would be blatantly obvious that these people don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
But
I believe we're amateurs. Yeah.
Well, you guys are 147 episodes in, and I can't thank you enough for helping me keep this thing going. And you guys are a bigger part of it now than I am, which is perfect. You guys are, do you feel better after 147 episodes? Do you feel like you're starting to get the hang of it?
No, I'm just teasing. I feel like I'm better at it than most. I listen to other podcasts, both aviation and non-aviation related. And it is a perfect example. Our friend Gita, who is a co-host of the Calm Cockpit podcast, her diction and her pronunciation is something that I aspire to be able to do. I use a lot of filler words and I'm super conscious about it, but I can't always stop it. And I so admire people that can talk for an hour and just be concise and to the point and not have to use filler words. It blows me away.
self-awareness is wild. You know?
So I think I am better at it than I was 147 episodes ago.
Yeah.
But I still am very mindful of it.
We all are doing the best we can. Nobody went to school to be a podcaster. And I
So
bet
you
there's...
say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, housekeeping real quick. You can join our Patreon community and help us keep the Midlife Pilot podcast ad-free. Your support makes this show possible, and every membership level gets you into our incredibly active Discord community for everything Midlife Pilot podcast. To support us on Patreon, send feedback, grab some merch, check out event info when we're having them, read the blog, and more. Visit midlifepilotpodcast.com, the new, shiny, brand new midlifepilotpodcast.com. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the air. Hit subscribe or follow in your podcast apps so you never miss an episode, and it really helps us. So click buttons and agitate the machine. Do things, and it'll help us. So thank you.
Yeah, I sometimes say on the thanks to people, thanks for digging change out of the couch cushions for supporting the show, which I think is a thing. I was in the big orange home improvement chain recently, and I noticed that some of the stores now say, hey, because of the penny shortage, we're going to round up. If you pay cash, we're going to round down. I noticed that shop says, we just round up no matter what. That's impressive. So apropos of nothing, I want to talk about our Patreon and Discord stuff. In Patreon, we've got a couple people that have joined us. At the Landomatic level, we have Cassie G. At the Hershey Bar level, we have Kyle77. So
nice.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
And I've split the accomplishments into a couple for the next few shows. At the ones we're going to talk about tonight is Ben. I always love saying Ben. Say Ben 2 or the other Ben or one of the other Bens. Ben reported that he did his 250-mile cross-country, or did a 250-mile cross-country with his wife and son. It was almost 6 hours, and he said it was instead of $100 hamburgers, it was $600 paninis.
Yes.
I really liked that. And he said, I think it was his first time doing it. He said the center-to-center handoffs were really easy. That's definitely a thing that you learn is what that's like if you've only trained in the local area and you may have had no handoffs ever, and understanding how that works and what's required from you and all that. I just think is really fascinating.
And real quick on that topic, I've learned through listening to opposing bases, the center controllers systems seem to be decades ahead in technology than what the Tracons get. They joke around that all you basically have to do is think flight following, and the center controllers automatically receive it and put it in the system. But it is an easier experience when you're going from center to center.
They also joke that the main job of a center controller is to give you the barometer,
right,
which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
Dev Cannon wrote in and said that he went to the final Class B committee meeting there in Nashville. So this is to turn the Bachelorette Super Charlie into a Bachelorette Bravo, which would be kind of cool. They should just rip out a couple of the Bravos that don't deserve it anymore and just demote them and promote the ones that really need it, like Nashville.
Well, I just want to give a special thanks to Deb, because what an incredibly rich, deep process all of that is. The long arc of this entire process is fascinating to watch. I'd love to get Dev on to, when it's the right time, to walk everybody through what all this means. And just he's just running the ad hoc committee, but there's a broader, intricate set of timelines and pieces and stakeholders and FAA and all these things that are happening along the way. It is an incredibly interesting process to have a seat at or to see into. So thanks, Dev, for the incredible work. But if there's not a VFR corridor, then we're never talking again. I'm never talking to Dev again. It'll be Dev's.
I think what's also very interesting about this is that there are a lot of very, very busy Class Charlies in the contiguous U.S. that are closely watching what happens in Nashville. Mm-hmm. And that this is hopefully will be the roadmap for everybody else to improve the airspace around them.
Well, I mean, OB talks about this all the time, but having round airspace designations was really 8-bit low-res thinking of the olden times. And so when you see the shape of how the Bachelorette Bravo is coming together, it looks, it's a complex geometry. There's a lot of things and layers and all that, very thoughtful. And there's a lot of surrounding airports and things you have to really think about. What are my processes? Most of these people are flying planes that maybe don't have this equipment, or, there's just so many things. You got to take care of everybody somehow because everybody's playing in the same space.
Well, not only that, but the big airliners go in and out of a Charlie. If they're following the normal paths on a round wedding cake Charlie, they're not actually staying in the Charlie the whole time. And so that's kind of this idea of these more modern airspaces is we know where the planes are coming from. There's only a few pathways into Nashville. So why don't we protect those corridors and ignore the rest of the space that is less important? Our friend Sierra Tango, who may have a vested interest in this, said, when they're done with the Super Charlie, can Portland have it? Yeah. Again, it's funny when you see what airports are Charlies. There's a wide range in Charlies and Deltas on traffic, and it's kind of fun to go look at the least busy Delta and Charlie and compare it to the most busy of each.
Well, last night when I was coming into Nashville from points north, the controller was saying very calmly and nicely, "I am by myself." And so you guys are going to have to slow down and be patient. You just think about the understaffing and all the things that are going on. And that's really what this is about, is how do you justify, how do you get the staffing to meet the needs? So it's going to take us some time, but I'm excited about it. The funniest part was it was only me and one other aircraft at the time going into John Toon, the other aircraft being a Challenger. And the controller, who had already been talking about how he was kindly saying in a calm way, "I'm about to lose my mind," but he wasn't, he wasn't negative about it. He
was present for the losing of his mind.
Yeah, exactly. And for whatever reason, this Challenger was not responding, and they were on a long right base essentially for John Toon, and I'm on a long essentially straight end for John Toon, and he keeps calling out for this plane, "Will you please acknowledge, please acknowledge?" And then finally they came on, and he gave him an earful, but it was interesting because it was really an earful to then just let go of them. Okay, well go land at John Toon, the tower's closed, whatever, So I just thought it was kind of this funny dynamic. And then, so I land, I go into the FBO and I see that there's nobody in there. It's late at night. And I see these two pilots and we start talking. And he says, I said, "Oh yeah, are you the XYZ jet that just was coming in and got an earful from Nashville?" He's like, I know that was, it was just really funny to talk to the Challenger pilot that was just getting, he was just somebody that I'd painted a picture of in my mind, and then I got to see it in real life. He was like, "I was on the wrong frequency. Damn it!"
Yeah.
He's like, I felt so bad, but by the time he yelled at me and everything, I had to go. We were parting ways anyway. It was sort of moot point. But
let me ask you both a question about that.
Yeah.
Do you, from your time flying and listening and being part of the National Airspace System, do you feel like there's a sense that controllers expect a higher level of awareness and professionalism with people that are flying jets?
Yeah. And like in busier airspace as well.
And especially in busier airspaces. It feels like to me that when they're calling out a Gulfstream or any type of jet for that matter, they're expecting a response exactly perfect every time from them.
I agree.
And if you hear Skyhawk 123, the student pilot, then all of a sudden grace is given. And as it probably should be. But I've witnessed that. It seems more prevalent now than when I first started flying.
I've also
I
heard
think you probably hear it more now than when you first started.
Probably I'm more in tune to it. You're probably right, Ted.
Yeah.
It's probably been the same.
Well, I've got a couple more accomplishments to hit here. And
sorry.
strangely, we're on the same topic of like airspace and controllers. And we're going to call him Wrench 978. Our friend who's a center controller is moving from the San Juan Center up to Philadelphia, which means he's working Newark because they moved the at least Newark. I don't know if it's the whole New York area, but they moved all that stuff down to Philadelphia. And they're just like doing all like remote over fiber optic down to there. So yeah, he's moving to Philly and he's excited about getting out of San Juan. So that's awesome. And he's got his Bonanza that he must be taking up there too.
That is so cool. And
it's closer to home to him, I think.
Yeah. Well, probably for most people, right? But I was thinking too, it's what a sacrifice to go to where you get assigned or where you have to go and you've got to take your family and then you've stuck it out for years and gotten the transfer or the next thing that you really wanted. I just have a huge admiration for controllers. I don't think that people realize that many of the controllers you talk to did not even mean to be where they are. This is just where they ended up. And so if they're a little tired and a little grumpy, and give them some grace.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, they've all been great. Like whenever you meet them in person, it's always fun.
Oh yeah,
it's great to see the other side of it. I highly recommend doing a tower tour or a center tour, whatever you can do if you haven't done that.
Or if you're in the country, it's a terror tour.
Yeah. If you're in the country, you don't have a tower, but sure. Two more for you here. Jay got his pilot's license in the mail, and he said, "I'm now a card-carrying member." That is such a big deal. Like, you've done your check ride, and you feel like you're a pilot now, which we say you're a pilot earlier, especially about the time when you solo is when we'll consider you part of the club. But you actually get that plastic in the mail, and you're like, wow. This is acknowledged that this is what I'm doing.
It's almost like you're hoping somebody calls you out and say, "I don't really believe you're a pilot." Now you can whip out this card and go, "Here it is, buddy."
Exactly.
Excuse me. I can fly. I can land this plane. Yeah. No, the funny part of that is for the private going to commercial was watching the DPE punch card, your private card that you cherished so much getting, and then now it looks like you've qualified for a sub, Can
you still use it when you get carded for beer?
Right. They punch it and then you just get this piece of, it's almost like you feel like you're being demoted for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also want to hit a accomplishment that was here in the chat comments, and that was Rescue Rat, who's got a Cessna 140 that we were talking about. He got approval to put bush wheels on it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to taking advantage of the many dry lake beds and off-airport opportunities here in the desert Southwest.
Oh.
He's around Vegas. Everything is a runway once you have those big tires. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
So I have a request of Rescue Rat. What I want to know is, I want to know what his normal cruise setting performance is in the way of knots. And I also want to know when he puts those bush tires on, what his cruise performance is going to be. Not that it matters. I'm just curious how much it affects it.
Yeah. The 140 that I did my tailwheel training in, started the tailwheel training for the first several hours with bush tires on it. And then he had changed them out to more normcore tires. So I got to feel that difference. I'll tell you what though, learning how to do wheel landings on an asphalt runway with bush tires will make you pretty good, pretty fast. It's like, you feel like you're doing moon landings, But anyway, awesome.
Yeah.
I do want to circle back real quick, Ted, if I can, and post this comment from Sierra Tango. He said, "I absolutely expect the 135 guys to respond like 121s. Slow down with the trainers, but you get better answer fast if you're flying a jet." So,
yeah.
And importantly, hey, Sierra Tango, reach out. We've got to go have a beer again. So we're kind of due for that. I'm just using the podcast to talk to one person.
Okay, there you go.
One to one. No, but the thing too is that I think most controllers know that if you try to high speed hurry a student or a new pilot, when you can tell and you can sense it, you're going to create a downstream problem because you're going to have to repeat things. And slow is fast, I would imagine, in a lot of these communications.
Do you remember when I rented the flycatcher there in Nashville?
Yeah.
I had a bit of an incident of getting sped up, which was I was coming across the north side of Nashville, kind of the north side of the Charlie there. And so then I was coming into John Tune, landing to the south, and they told me direct the numbers. And I did that, trying to hustle and beat somebody else in and not cause any delay. And I came in and I was not configured. I was too early of hours in an unfamiliar plane. It was a terrible choice for me to make, is kind of being talked into it by a tower controller. So I got in, I had to go around. And then there was a whole issue of somebody else that wasn't responding on the go around, and the tower chewed out and everything else. But it's like, guess what? This is what happens. This is what happens when, and I'm not saying that's their fault for hurrying a low time pilot. It's my fault more than anything, but that's the sort of thing that happens. And that's where you have to be ready to say no. I just remember that so much. It's like, that's just imprinted. You just never forget those moments.
Do you miss the Skycatcher?
Hey, I'll fly.
They're cool planes.
Yeah. I'll
But are they though, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a plane-shaped object.
It is a plane. And what does it have? A stoke? What's it called?
Yeah, the stoke. Which
I'm not sure that I don't know.
I have no problem going between the different controls. I thought I might. I've never had a problem switching between one to the next. They'll work. Your brain just automatically does it. I was very surprised.
One thing I'd like to do before we start to begin our descent is we have a couple of people that are close to us that are on the verge of particular check rides for the sake of superstition and the strange release schedule of podcasts. I would just like to say, you know who you are. We've talked to you recently, probably in the last day or two, about your upcoming check ride. So you know who you are. And really just anybody out there that has a check ride coming up, private, instrument, what have you. We appreciate the struggle. We've all been going through it fairly recently. And it is, as much as this community makes people, I think, feel like you've got some brethren and some commonality and universality of experience. I can just say for me, when I went through my instrument check ride and commercial check ride this year, there's still just this feeling of the world is happening around me and I have to be in this strange vortex of circular information that I cannot voluntarily leave or I will have a problem, right? You have to stay in that zone and you're lathering yourself up to be in this rhythm and all of that. So special shout out to anybody who's on the verge of taking a check ride. I feel for you. We understand, and it is never easy. And people say the more check rides you do, the easier they get because you understand them. I have found that it's actually the opposite. I know too much now. I was blissfully ignorant, I think, for my private check ride. I didn't know what I was getting into, and that was really the anxiety point of it, but really surmountable. Now, when you do the, instrument check ride and the commercial check ride, you really understand how to map the ACS to what you're doing, and you really can almost evaluate yourself, right, through the lens of a DPE. That creates maybe perhaps more fertile ground for potential anxiety. Don't have it. Just have fun, have good experiences, and enjoy them. And then also it'll be over soon. But anyway, all our friends that are taking check rides soon, shout out.
One quick follow-up to that, if I may. And I know we need to wrap up soon. Of those people, I recently had an experience. It wasn't a check ride, but it was a kind of a pass-fail situation. And something occurred to me then, and I wish I had thought about this during my check rides. I went into this experience with hoping that I was going to do the best I could do, but I decided, I mentally made a mental decision. I want to come out with a good experience. I want to learn something from this experience. Whether I'm told yes or no, I care, but that almost isn't the most important thing. If you go into a check ride and you think the worst thing that can happen is you might have a discontinuance, you're going to learn from that. And if there's value in that in and of itself. So.
Yeah, I want to hit Virgil's comment here. He says, for those about to rock, and he's talking about those that are about to do a check ride. And so we'll finish that. For those about to rock, we salute you.
We salute you.
I also want to hit Chuck's comment before we go out. We were talking about what you do with your license. And he said he visited 6 Alpha 4 recently. So they were doing construction and asked for my pilot license so I could look around the airport property. Heck yeah, I have a license. He asked, are you a pilot? Yes, sir. That is fantastic. That's an accomplishment.
What do you mean you don't want to see my card? No, you want to see my card. I got the card right here. Hold on, just wait.
Listen, you want to call my bluff? Call my bluff, baby. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome.
Captain Todd is in the chat here. Captain Todd, we're doing a double header tonight, so stick around. But Captain Todd has a new video out. He's been working out this. What is it called?
It's a portable single-axis autopilot.
That's a mechanical.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
I did watch this video today.
I keep wanting to call it a porta potty, but it's
portable.
It's a porta pilot. I think it's called porta pilot. Anyway,
I actually think you may be right.
Either way, Captain Todd, I just appreciate you, man. Love your videos, and he's got a solid voice too. If you feel like you want to learn something, or maybe just feel relaxed, watch a Captain Todd video.
There you go.
Porta pilot, he says. All right.
All right. Don't forget, leave us a 5-star review. It will more than likely, if not guaranteed, be read on the air. 5-star, and then you can say whatever you want, good, bad, or indifferent. Don't forget to hit subscribe or follow on your podcast app. Gentlemen, anything else for the good of the order?
No.
There's been a string of aviation accidents involving planes hitting wires. And I pulled this from the AV web.
Did you make that pun on purpose?
No.
Okay.
It just comes out naturally, Brian. This is who I am.
There's been a string of
power lines, is it? So, the comment today. Towers and power lines are affected by weather. They get taller and move nearer to highways, railroad tracks, and airports when the ceiling gets very low. So, don't scud run, people. Signing off, episode 187 of the Midlife Pilot Podcast. Goodbye, everybody.